So something is wrong with the way that we meet and convene. First thing, I usually have less energy when I get out of a meeting. Whether it's a physical meeting, whether it's a virtual meeting, it doesn't sit right with me. The second thing is I feel that there's lots of fake agreements in meetings, so we decide something, and as soon as the meeting is over, people start talking. So a couple of days later, a week later, it turns out, well, we didn't have consensus in the first place, so we discussed all over again. And the thing that bugs me most is, why do we dedicate so much time in meetings to presentations? The presentation is what we do right now. One person speaks and the others are listening. And that can be great, right? I mean, I was born an extrovert. I nurtured that. I paid for my studies by giving presentations to companies. So presentations are, I don't know, fun, inspiring, motivating. They add energy. They bring energy to a room, and that's good. That has a value. But if you do that all the time, you never come to a point where you have a true dialogue. And if you don't have a true dialogue, that means that you don't listen to every person in the room. You don't hear all the voices in the room. And if we don't listen to all the voices in the room, how can we ever cash in on diversity? Because that's what diversity comes down to hear different opinions and to listen to different points of views. And also, if you don't listen to all the people in the room, why have a meeting at all? Just do a recording and send it over. So something is wrong. And what's interesting, if you move outside the corporate halls and think about the way that you hang out with friends, when you're out and about, when you're in the forest, when you're at the beach, when you're in a park, it seems that there are different mechanisms and rituals at work. And I wonder whether we cannot take some of these things that come so natural and that feel so right and bring them to our corporate world and make our meetings better. So let's imagine it's summer, early evening, you're in the forest with, let's say, 7 or 8 friends. And you sit around an open fire in a circle, okay? The first thing you will notice is that whenever somebody joins the group, you will make them feel welcome. You will look in their face, you will ask how they're doing, you will give them some food, some drink. It's a slow process. There's no rush. You have all the time in the world for them to arrive well. You don't immediately jump into a discussion. The second thing that is so special when you're in a circle around an open fire, that everybody seems to be equal. All the people are invited to bring a topic in, and everybody is invited to speak up. So it's a group of equals. Third, the quality of the meeting depends on all the people participating. It's not the person inviting, it's not the host. It seems that we're all holding the space together so that everyone can feel safe and comfortable. And there's one thing that happens, and that's a very special moment, and I'm sure that everyone experienced it at least once in life. There will be a moment when all the people around the fire become silent. When everybody's just staring into the flames, and the mind, you start dreaming, thinking, contemplating. It's wonderful. It's total silence, very naturally. Yeah, and how do you end a meeting? It's not one end and you run off. No, it's a slow process as well. So what would it take? What should we do to bring this to our meeting world? The first thing we should do, we should make sure that all the people arrive well at the meeting. Just because there's a body in the room, just because we see a face on the screen, does not mean that the person is ready for the conversation that you're about to have. And if not all the people are ready at the beginning, if you don't have them here, then the impact of the meeting is quite limited. Second thing, we should gather in a circle around a center. For thousands of years have our predecessors met around an open fire, and there's a reason for it. Because it anchors us, because it gives us stability if we gather in a circle. Just look at the coffee break in a conference outside when people talk. It's very natural for them to form a group. 3 or 4 people will always form a circle. So to sit in a circle around something is very natural. We cannot open a fire in our meeting rooms. You can use a candle. You can use a blanket. You can use flowers, a pillow. You put your cell phones in the middle. If you work on a prototype, just put it in the middle. It'll make a great difference. We should hold moments of collective silence, especially after heated discussion, when you're just about to shout out your arguments and put them in a row. No, don't. Be quiet for 2 or 3 minutes. Find back to yourself. Get clarity in your thought. Think about what the other person really wanted to tell you. We can probably honor what is being said by not commenting on it. And how should we end a meeting? It's okay to write down the next steps. That's fine. But let's take a minute to look at all the faces in the room and then say, is everybody with you? Is there nothing left that needs to be said? And most important, do all the people in the room believe that the time together has been worthwhile? So what is my pledge? My pledge is to think about the way that we hold meetings, to bring back in our meetings what is so natural, that we nurture what we crave so much, the collective wisdom. Let's listen to all the voices in the room, and let's make sure that there's a leader in each and every chair. Thank you.